morning. Good morning, Freedom Marchers. Little late for the morning paper. Just about 20 minutes. Had to deal with a crisis, a child crisis at the house. Not a real crisis, a dramatic child crisis. One of my babies had a nightmare, was screaming and hooping and hollering, and I had to calm him down before I left him. So it is what it is, father duties. Anyway, how y'all doing this morning? Freedom Marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers and freedom fighters. Salute to Marcy T and Shawa commenting early today. Thank you guys. We're going to get into this thing, right? We're going to get into this because it's time to expose the hypocrisy. It's time to expose the hypocrisy, right? Particularly when it comes to these Epstein files. I love to use the hypocrisy of the government and the media and the elite class to show, why we are completely, why they're useless, why government and the elite class are completely and utterly useless, and in fact dangerous to us. So the Epstein file shit is going to be one such example. Right now they are saying that Donald Trump is trying to keep the Epstein files suppressed because he's in the Epstein files. Basically, they're saying that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, which would mean that he participated in the freaky, nasty behavior of Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was not only a participant in the nasty behavior, he facilitated and hosted these nasty behaviors involving children, involving young girls, right? He had a whole island where he took young girls and, celebrities and, politicians and whatnot would fly to this island, and they would have their way with these children, right? Including women, and if you guys don't remember, Ghislaine Maxwell was basically a recruiter. She was a recruiter for Jeffrey Epstein and got all these women together for these nasty behaviors. So this is a whole big thing, right? God knows who all is involved in the Epstein nastiness, the Epstein freak-offs, right? Probably the same individuals that were involved with Hugh Hefner and the Playboy Mansion. And, listen, these people do all this nasty shit. They're disgusting. They look at children as playthings, right? They look at children as playthings, and their desire is to have their way with your children. They do this thing where they take the foreskin of babies and they rub it on their skin, right? That's what Sandra Bullock told y'all. Y'all thought it was a joke. All these people are nasty. But now, because Elon Musk put Trump on blast saying that he was in the Epstein files, they are now going after Donald Trump for suppressing the Epstein files from going public, right? And I talked about this before. I talked about Elon Musk versus Trump, and I talked about all that shit, and I talked about how it's basically two oligarchs fighting for control, right? And I brought up a great point. How long did Elon Musk know that Donald Trump was in Epstein files? And if he knew for a while, why is he just now saying anything when he has beef with Donald Trump? Why not bring it up before? Why even, why even have anything to do with Trump if he was in the Epstein files and you knew these things, right? Well, of course it's because they started beefing and Elon Musk wanted to throw Donald Trump under the bus. This is what people do. This is what people who are, not righteous and people that always want to have something to hang over people's head, this is what they do. Of course he was using Trump. OG Prophet, I agree. Mark Henry, he said, are you doing the dragon thing trend? I don't know what that is. I don't do trends. I don't do trends. I do my thing. I do what I do. I do what I do. I don't know what a dragon nothing is. I don't know what none of that is. The man in the high castle says fake news. What is the fake news? Which part is the fake news? What I'm telling you is that they are now saying that Donald Trump is trying to suppress the Epstein files from coming out because he's in it. That is what they're saying. You understand what I'm talking about? That's what they're saying. And I'm telling you, this started because Elon Musk said that Donald Trump was in the Epstein files when he started beefing with him. But here's my question. Well, actually, I'm going to bring this up first. The Epstein files have been a thing for many years, right? All the things that, and listen, this is basically a dead man switch of Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein's dead man switch were these files. Ghislaine Maxwell corroborated these files and basically named names as well. This has been going on for years. So why are we just now trying to make Trump the one? Oh, well, Trump is the one suppressing them. Trump is the one preventing them from being exposed, from coming out, from being made public. But when did Ghislaine Maxwell become prosecuted? During Joe Biden's administration, right? Joe Biden's DOJ. Joe Biden's administration, Joe Biden's DOJ is the one that prosecuted, right? Ghislaine Maxwell. And during the Trump administration, that is when Jeffrey Epstein, got prosecuted again, got convicted, and all that, and ended up killing himself. Right? He deleted himself, right? Remember that? That happened during Trump's administration. Ghislaine Maxwell was prosecuted during Biden administration. These files, right? The manifest, the flight manifest, all this shit has been around for a long time. These files have been suppressed for years by the government in general and by the elite class. Not just Donald Trump, right? We're not just going to sit up here and act like, oh, well, Donald Trump is the one stopping them from coming out. Well, if Donald Trump is in those files, if there's incriminating evidence against Donald Trump in those files, he is not the only one. He is not the only one with the power to suppress those files. So I love it how people are now coming out saying, oh, well, Donald Trump is suppressing this. Donald Trump won't allow this to come out. Well, we've been talking about them. We've been telling them to release the files before. Last year or the year before, Donald Trump just took office this year. And no one was saying anything about Donald Trump suppressing a motherfucking thing until Elon Musk said something. The files have been the files. Look, the first time Jeffrey Epstein was prosecuted was like in 2010 or something like that. earlier, right? And you know, Alan Dershowitz, I mean, he defended him. Hey, hold on, guys. I gotta answer this phone call. Hold on. Wow. Jesus Christ, y'all. Can you guys hear me? That was a work phone call, man. Jake N says they're all involved. Yes, they are. Jesus Christ. I just got a horrible phone call from one of my employees. Jesus Christ. Apparently one of my employees, a guy that works for me, died on Saturday. Jesus. Man, that's crazy. He died on Saturday, man. That's wild.
Police reported ahead.
William, the Wolfman says, inbred redneck vote for Trump. Yeah, not just inbred rednecks. A guy named Alec Chase comes into my chat and says distracted driving. A man who is complaining about me driving distracted wrote in the chat, well, if you are so concerned about me driving distracted, maybe you shouldn't write in the chat. Now, I'm responsible, right? I'm responsible for not being a distracted driver. But if you're going to call me out for being a distracted driver, perhaps you shouldn't write in the comments. William the Wolfman, yes, all that. But like I said, it's not just rednecks, right? Because he won the popular vote, and he won the electoral college vote, right? So it's not just rednecks. He says I'm a MAGA fan. ICE, no, I'm not. I'm not a MAGA fan at all. I am an anarchist. You understand what I'm saying? I'm an anarchist. To be a MAGA fan is to be a statist, and to be a statist is the opposite of anarchy. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm an anarchist. Yes, I am. Say what you want. I'm an anarchist. It is what it is. Believe what you want. I didn't insult MAGA. I didn't insult MAGA at all. This motherfucker says impossible. How is it impossible to be an anarchist? You do know that you live in anarchy every day, right? You practice anarchy every day. You practice anarchy by coming into my chat and writing what you choose. No one is suppressing you on my channel, right? You don't have any authority telling you what you can and can't write in my chat. You don't have an authority telling you when to brush your teeth, how to brush your teeth, what to eat, how to eat, when to eat. Not yet. No. So to say that anarchy is impossible,
vehicle on shoulder ahead.
Texas NASA says that's not anarchy, and that person has no idea what they're talking about. You know what anarchy means? Anarchy means no authority, no rulers. That's what it means. So if you do as you choose without someone telling you what to do, then guess what? You are living in anarchy. This person says that's not anarchy without telling me what anarchy is. I'm telling you what anarchy means. It literally means the etymology of the word anarchy means no authority, no rulers. Right? When I got up this morning, I exercised. I chose of my own free will to get up and work out. Not because someone made me do it. Not because someone said I had to do it. No ruler woke me up in the morning and told me to do so. But we do have rulers in our everyday life dictating how we move about life, but not in every single way, right? They extort you via taxes, right? They create these laws. They create these man-made laws. They tell you, oh, well, you can't have this gun in this state. Oh, you can't have a suppressor. You can't have a Gatling gun, right? Oh, you can't go camping in the woods without a permit. Yes, those are authority figures telling you can't do so. We do live in a country where government rules and they do dictate to a degree how we live. But there are aspects of our life that they don't dictate. Bye. Get your ass out of here. Hey, I don't have a mod in the chat right now. I wish I did. I'd tell you, get your ass out of here. This clown tells me that what I'm saying is not anarchy, but won't tell me what anarchy is. Get your silly ass out of here. I don't need you. That's an oversimplification of what anarchy means. It literally means, the etymology of the word anarchy means no authority, no rulers. What are you talking about? What are you saying? You have no idea what you're talking about. This is anarchy. Anarchy is full-fledged, complete anarchy. Is a government that does not exist. Right? You go where a government doesn't exist. Let's say you want to go to the woods. You want to live near a lake, and you want to mind your fucking business for the rest of your life. Well, that's anarchy. You go, you stake your place out, you stake out some land, you build your own shelter, you hunt for your own food, you hunt and fish for your own food, or you raise your own food, you mind your own business, and you live your life as you see fit, without people telling you what you can and can't do. So yeah, I agree, Michael. Yeah, show the list. Don't just act like you're interested in the list coming out because they're saying Donald Trump is on the list. No, y'all should have been hollering that for a long time. I sound like a Taliban? Okay. Wanting to mind my own business and not being told what to do by people that don't truly represent me is being the Taliban. Then I guess I'm the Taliban. I'm describing freedom. Yes, that is freedom. But you can't have freedom without anarchy. Freedom is the freedom of choice, the freedom to do what you want with your own body and your own actions without violating someone else's. That means that no one's ruling over you and you're not ruling over someone else unless they choose you to lead them, right? You can't have freedom without anarchy, because if you have rulers and authority telling you what you can and can't do, that's not freedom. Well, you need anarchy to have freedom. That means no rulers, no dictators, no government, right? That's what that is. What are y'all talking about? It's not an oversimplification. It is what it is. I wouldn't last 2 seconds of anarchy. I do every day. I survive hours of anarchy. I go to sleep when I want. I wake up when I want. I eat the food that I want to eat. I exercise when I want to exercise. But there are certain things that the government does not allow you to do without using force against you. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, this Epstein list, well, it's been around for years. Jeffrey Epstein basically had a dead man switch, meaning once he got caught, there was a list of people, there was evidence, there's a manifest, the flight manifest, all kind of things. Because just because Now, being on the list does not necessarily mean, or on the manifest, and flying to the island doesn't mean that you participated. Maybe, I mean, it doesn't mean that they didn't. Psychotic says God over anarchy. Well, didn't God give us free will? Y'all know that Jesus Christ was an anarchist. Jesus Christ was an anarchist who understood God gave us free will. And with free will, you do as you choose, as long as you don't violate someone else's rights. Right? So if you want to smoke crack,
watch out, vehicle on shoulder.
If you want to have sex with a sex worker, if you want to do whatever you want to do. Oh, I'm wrong? Okay. Jesus Christ didn't understand that God gave us free will, and he was trying to preach the message of God. He was trying to spread the gospel of free will, but living righteously. With that free will, you can go and you can delete somebody in cold blood, but there are consequences for it. But no one stopped you, right?
Object on road reported ahead.
Well, that's a sin, right? So you committed the sin of murder. God gave you the free will to commit the sin of murder. But guess what? When you murder somebody, you violated someone else's free will to live. That's why your ass go to hell, right? Think about all the sins that you can go to hell for. Murder, theft, coveting someone else's wife. It all involves violating someone else's rights and someone else's free will. Right? These are things. Yes, I'm not a Christian. I'm not claiming to be a avid Christian or anything like that. But I do understand that what Jesus' journey was about spreading the message of God and spreading the message of free will to every individual. Everybody had free will. It's just that with that free will, you should live righteously, right? You should live, Christ-like. Christ-like meaning you're righteous. You try to do the right thing by people. You treat others as you want to be treated. It's simple, right? And there was an understanding that these authority figures back in his time were trying to restrict people's free will, right? And he was trying to basically start a revolution to break the chains, essentially. He wanted to break the chains of the enslaved. Think about it. Think about what Jesus did, what Moses did. Moses was about freeing slaves. That's what it was all about. The ultimate form of anti-freedom is full-on chattel slavery. Well, Moses parted the Red Sea to free the slaves, didn't he? Right? He came. He told everybody about the 10 Commandments. Now, do people, take things and they add whatever they want, they manipulate, they spin a narrative, they do what they want with these stories of these individuals that lived in the past, and they create stories and mythology around them to try to control people? Yeah, absolutely. But at the end of the day, freedom is about free will, right? It's about free will without violating someone else's free will. Living as you see fit and not destroying people around you while doing so. Well, you can't live like that if you have Big Daddy government or some king or some monarch telling you what you can and can't do every day, trying to extract your wealth to enrich themselves, extract your wealth to enrich themselves, and to control other people. Well, without that, you have anarchy. Minding your own business and leaving other people alone is anarchy. And no one messing with you and people leaving you the fuck alone. I don't understand what y'all don't understand about that. I don't understand what y'all don't understand. I don't understand what y'all don't get about that. It's simple. Oh, that's not anarchy. But won't tell me what anarchy is. Stormy B-Man, salute to you, brother. Salute to Stormy B-Man. Thank you for coming through this morning. But won't tell me what anarchy is. You're just telling me that what I'm saying ain't anarchy. That's insidious work. Insidious. Basically, anarchy doesn't work, but it does. Anarchy does work. What? Anarchy does work. You writing that in the chat is anarchy, because no one told you could or could not do it. Exactly. Wicked panic. They'd rather justify causing harm to other human beings. And that's what anarchy at the end of the day is about. When you brushed your teeth this morning, you decided to do that. The only consequences of you not brushing your teeth is your teeth fall out your head and you get gum disease and you die an early death. Well, guess what? Everybody dies. The bottom line is, if you choose not to brush your teeth for days and days and days and days and weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months, there's no one to stop you from doing that. If you want to eat sugar shit all your life, you want to eat cake every day, no one's stopping you. There's no authority telling you that you can't do these things. No authority is telling you when to, unless you're in prison. If you're in prison or in jail, yeah, you're gonna get, yeah, you're gonna eat what they tell you to eat, when they tell you to eat it. You're gonna take a shower when they tell you to take a shower, how and when and why or whatever. Yes, in those cases, you're living under complete and total authority 24/7. Absolutely. Absolutely. But if you're living in the world, salute to New Zealand, y'all. Salute to the Kiwi. What state am I in? I'm in Georgia right now. Sai, salute to you. I'm glad I can help you come to an understanding. Texas NASA tells me to grow up, but he's in my chat writing. He's writing in my chat telling me to grow up. Y'all are some interesting people. And then some guy says, look at this guy driving in his vehicle talking about shit that doesn't even, then why are you in here? I'm confused. If I don't know what I'm talking about, why are you writing in my chat? I don't understand. Anyway, those Epstein files, they should have been released a long time ago. They should have been released when Jeffrey Epstein got convicted. They should have got released when Ghislaine Maxwell got convicted. But now we're whining about Trump not releasing them. Well, guess what? The next presidential term, if it doesn't get released by the time Donald Trump term ends, the next president won't release them either. I don't understand what y'all... Listen, look how long it took. Well, I don't even know. The JFK has been dead for how long? Since 1963 or 64? And we know that what they said happened is bullshit. You get what I'm saying? I'm spreading the message of Satan and calling it God. I'm spreading the message of Satan and calling it God. God did not give us free will? I don't understand what you're talking about. God didn't give us free will? God didn't spread the message through Jesus Christ? What do you? What? I'm spreading the message of Satan, talking about his God. Man, y'all wild up in here. I'm glad you guys are so concerned about me being on the phone and driving. That's crazy. Even though I'm hands free. No, I'm not gonna pull over and spread the message. No, I'm gonna do what I'm doing. It's okay though. No. So that's what it is. We want Donald Trump to release the Epstein files. I want to see him too. I want to see all the nasty motherfuckers exercising in participating in child sex trafficking. I want to know all the people who are doing that. So, but I didn't just now want them released, and I'm not just looking at Trump and asking him. And no, I'm like, well, when Ghislaine Maxwell was in court, and when she agreed to give up the goods, give up all the information about everyone who participated, well, why didn't they release it then? You know what I'm saying? And that's just all I'm pointing out, the hypocrisy. Blake Browning said he just called the Georgia State Police. Okay, good for you. Good for you. Now you can go back under your bridge. Good for you. I don't know what can the police do to me right now. I'm hands free. I'm driving with both hands on the steering wheel, and I'm going the speed limit. I don't understand what they could be pulling over. But like, what am I doing illegal? You know that people have navigation in their vehicles, and from time to time, if they're trying to go where they need to go, well, they look at the navigation to see how many miles until the exit. This is a common thing. It's okay though. It's okay. The bottom line is this: y'all trying to distract from the fact that this Epstein file has been out. It has been a thing for years, and now we're trying to make it a thing because we want Donald Trump to release it. If Donald Trump is in those files, he's not going to release them. I hope we understand that. These files will probably stay hidden for a very long time. It'll probably take 20 or 30 years and a FOIA request for those files to get released. Some guy says no one cares. You care enough to write in the comments. See what I'm saying? This isn't just about child. I don't understand what that means. What do you mean? This isn't just about child. It is about the children. That's why this whole thing is a thing in the first place. Because everybody participating in this sexual deviancy that are underage, that's when it becomes a problem, right? Because we're talking about children. Everybody else, if they consented to participate, all the adults, if a bunch of grown men and women want to get together and have orgies and do drugs at the same time, as long as everyone are willing participants and consent, well, that's on them, right? God will sort it out when they die, and they'll go where they need to go because of it. Sister Shower, salute to you. It's just about the children, unless some grown women or men got drugged against their will, and then that's another story, right? That's another problem. But the things that Jeffrey Epstein got locked up for involved child eggs trafficking, and involved drugs and alcohol with minors. Ghislaine Maxwell, well, she got prosecuted and convicted. Well, she pled guilty. Blessings to you, Sister Shower. Salute to you. Ghislaine Maxwell,
reported ahead.
She got prosecuted because she was recruiting young girls. She was recruiting young girls. It's about the children right now. Just look at the whole Diddy thing. Diddy got off, basically, because everybody involved were grown as adults. And for all intents and purposes, as far as I know, there's no evidence that there was any child eggs trafficking in regards to P. Diddy. So it is about the children, right? It's about the children. But if grown women and men are getting AR'd, that's a problem as well. That's a problem. So if that's the case, well, that also needs to be released, and anybody that participated in those acts are to be they need to be dealt with. They need to be dealt with. It's about the children at the end of the day. It's about the children and the adults that had their will and their free will violated through drugging and whatnot, and forced contact. Right? That means that they did not consent. If they didn't consent, it's the R word. In California, this is extremely illegal. I love how I'm talking about, I don't know if you're talking about me driving and doing a live stream at the same time. I've never heard of such a law, but hopefully you're talking about children being violated, because y'all should be less concerned about me driving while doing a live stream than y'all should be less concerned about that and be more concerned about the children, right? The children that are victims to Epstein's behavior and everybody who participated with Epstein. I don't yeah, sure, okay, I get it. Everybody gets it. I'm driving and fucking talking on the live stream at the same time. So the fuck what? Get over this shit. I've been doing it for years. Y'all more concerned about me driving and doing a live stream than about the children being violated. That continue to be violated to this day. I'm the hypocrite. Okay. So is your mama. He's a proud criminal. Y'all know what a criminal is? Y'all know what a criminal is? A criminal is someone who creates a victim of another individual. I am not creating a victim of anybody. If you have a problem with me driving and doing a live stream at the same time, like I tell you every single time, simply don't write in the chat. You're the hypocrite for writing in the chat for me to see it and to be distracted. But I'm not distracted. You see, because I can chew in bubble gum and walk at the same time. And I'm constantly looking around. I'm a very good defensive driver. You guys have no idea how many idiots I've avoided accidents with. On the daily. On the daily. There are people who aren't distracted by their phones, driving like idiots. tailgating people, you know what I'm saying? Cutting people off and then going real slow. Trying to squeeze in between two cars that are like a little bit more than one car length a distance. It's okay though. See, I don't tailgate, I don't cut people off. When people are barreling down on me, I get over so that they stupid ass can go 99 miles per hour. It's okay. I do those things. I do those things while I'm talking on this live stream. Oh, shower, it's all good. Yeah, I know. It's fun. It's fun. But yes, Shower's right. Shower's right. The children are the priority. The children are why I'm doing this. Because everybody in those Epstein files that participated violated children knowingly. Jeffrey Epstein was known to have children on deck. Just like Hugh Hefner. But for whatever reason, they wanted to go after Jeffrey Epstein. Right? Somebody said, hey, man, you know, Jeffrey Epstein got to go down. There were a lot of scandalous things going on with that initial, right? With the initial prosecution of Jeffrey Epstein, where one of his lawyers ended up being head of the DOJ. Y'all remember Alan Dershowitz? He was one of Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer, and he's like I mean, he's still walking around acting like he's an expert. During Modelo 19, he was trying to say that the government has the right to force you to get poked. Oh yeah, Storm B Man, yes. I need to look in that. Can I do subscriber only if I'm doing a vertical live? I'm not sure if I can do that. I need to look into that. It is an asset. You're right. Yes, Alan Dershowitz. But these are elite people, right? Alan Dershowitz knew what Jeffrey Epstein was up to, and so was that the guy that I forgot his name. It's not just Alan Dershowitz. It was another guy who prosecuted, right? Who prosecuted Jeffrey Epstein the second time and tried to get him off, but he got exposed as a previous lawyer, and then they had to prosecute the shit out of Jeffrey Epstein. These are, listen, this is par for the course for the elite class. See, Jeffrey Epstein, all he did was something that he just did something to piss off the rest of the elites. And so they threw his ass under the bus. They sacrificed him. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. These people are nasty. Yes, Alan was getting messages from little girls. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. They're all nasty. They're all nasty people. You see? Now, there were stories of Donald Trump, right? They tried to throw, remember, they tried to throw Donald Trump in it before. But Donald Trump, they talked about how Donald Trump kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of one of his parties for trying to talk to an underage girl. One of his friend's daughters. She was like 14 years old. He was trying to holler at her. Donald Trump threw his ass out. And Donald Trump did say, yeah, Jeffrey Epstein, he's known to like him young. But did he participate? I have no idea. I'm just not going to go for the whole, oh, Donald Trump is trying to suppress it. Like he's the only one. No. All your favorite elite class rulers participated. Not all of them probably, but you know, they either participated or they knew about it, or they have the evidence, they have the knowledge, and they turn a blind eye to it. That's also something we have to consider. Because the individuals that have access to these files, right, those within the power structure that have access to these files, they are choosing not to release the files or make them public. So it doesn't matter if they didn't participate. They are now complicit. They are complicit, right? They have carnal knowledge, but they choose to keep it suppressed. It's not just Donald Trump. It's all of them. It's all of them. The government we love and trust. The government we love and trust is keeping this shit from us. Do you know? You remember that guy? I forgot his name. He was a swimmer, and he was going to going to this university. I forgot his name. The name is on the tip of my brain though. He raped a little black girl by some trash dumpsters and got convicted, but the judge decided to let him go off for probation because he didn't want to ruin his life. Exactly, Shawa, left and right wing. Left and right wing. That's exactly what I'm trying to help people understand. Now, not Phelps. No, it was not Phelps. It was not Phelps. Phelps. No, it wasn't Michael Phelps. I forgot the guy's name. He raped a little black girl by a dumpster, and the judge let him off and gave him probation because he didn't want to ruin the kid's life. And do we know why the judge was able to do that? Because for certain offenses there are mandatory minimums. In general, there are no mandatory minimums for child eggs abuse. Why? Well, I don't know if you guys remember Kinsey, right? There was a cat named Kinsey who he was like a sex kind of scientist, right? A sex researcher. But his area of research was to basically try to convince society that it was okay for grown-ass men and women to get down with children, right? And saying that he performed these sick experiments. Well, I'm not going to really get into it, but where he would have PDF files, do things to children, and then if the child reacted in pain or reacted in disgust, he would say they were having a climax. He was convinced that these children really liked it. Well, not only did he perform these experiments, Kinsey, he convinced the justice system that there do not need to be any harsh punishment for violators of children. That's why these people are able to get low sentences. That's why they're able to get probation. We'll put them on the registrars list. Well, they're living free out in the world, able to do this to children again. And they often do. They are repeat violators, right? Because child diddlers cannot be rehabilitated, right? They can't. And this was a thing that Kinsey had done. Kinsey provided all this research saying, the children, they really like it. And, they aren't really that bad. I mean, it's another and that's why you have MAPS. The whole thing about MAPS, minor attracted people. Minor attracted people. That's what they want to call them instead of PDF files. And now they have been trying to make PDF files a part of, the LMNOP community. But even the LMNOP community is like, hell no, it ain't going down like that. But they're trying to make it a legit sexuality. They've been doing this for decades. And the reason Kinsey was able to convince the justice system to not proceed with harsh punishments for PDF files is because the elite class often participate in that. And if they get caught, and I'm talking about legislators as well, legislators, executive branch people, When they get caught, they don't want to get harsh sentences either. That's why they let it go. But they'll give you a 5-year minimum in Georgia for having marijuana on you. Well, how did Jeffrey Epstein, why did he get convicted like he did? Why was he going away for as long as he was? Well, because of the sheer number of children that he did this to, and how it was basically a whole enterprise, right? They had to make an example out of him to try to convince us that they really care. They don't really give a fuck. Because if they cared, they would take that list and they would go arrest everybody on that list, and they will expose everybody on that list and lock them up. Kimberly says adrenochrome. That might be an issue as well. But I'm trying to tell you guys, it's not just Donald Trump. He's just a convenient patsy. Trump might diddle kids, but I'm not just concerned with Trump being exposed. Expose all these motherfuckers, because they could have released that list during the first Trump administration, during the Biden administration, the administration before that. They could have released that information when Jeffrey Epstein first got prosecuted and got 18 months. When he first got convicted, he got just a little 18-month goddamn jail time. I don't know if you guys remember that. And he was able to leave. He was able to leave prison and then come back. That motherfucker, and it was basically Club Med. He had a Club Med prison sentence where he was able to fucking leave and come back minimum security. This is what happened. They could have released that list a long time ago. But they gave Jeffrey Epstein those accommodations because of Jeffrey Epstein's dead man switch, the evidence that he had against other people. It's not a conspiracy theory. These are all facts. So let's not just concern ourselves with Trump being on the list and being in the files. Let's concern ourselves with the number of people that are on that list to the point where it still hasn't been released. It ain't got nothing to do with Trump. Trump ain't the shit. You feel me? Anyway, thank you guys for coming through. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for being so concerned about me driving and being distracted. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the discussion. I always love the opportunity to explain what anarchy really is and to push the message of freedom. And this is just a further push towards freedom, because the people that rule over us, look at what they do. Look at what they do with children. Look at what they do to us. Look at what they do to get their way in life. Look at everything they do to maintain control and power over everyone. They're horrible. Shawa says too many Democrats were on the list during their administration. Exactly. Just like there's too many Republicans on the list during this administration. This is just a distraction tactic, right? Oh, Donald Trump is on the Epstein list. All this, that, and the third. But what else is going on in the world? Right? Listen, these motherfuckers don't give a fuck about the children. These people calling for Trump to release this list. Oh, you're on the list. That's why you don't want it to come out. Same thing for the last administration. Same thing for the next one. The next one after that. Same thing for the banker. Same thing for the IRS. Same thing for goddamn Federal Reserve motherfuckers. They're all party to it. They all have members that are party to it. But anyway, Hunter says, see ya, thanks for sharing useless thoughts. Little sheep man. Okay. I appreciate you. Very productive. Anyway, much love, you guys. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for the trolling. Thank you for all the challenges. Thank you for challenging me on what anarchy is. I was able to explain what it is and help you guys gain an appreciation for it. And that's always my goal, right? And my another one of my goals is to keep us focused on keeping our children safe. Keep your children out of the hands of these nasty motherfuckers. And with that, I'm going to leave you. Like, share, subscribe. Let's keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.